All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wookie's Wonderland Cryo Sniper build. This is something I've been having a lot of fun with since the New Horizons update, especially since they've fixed and even kind of buffed some of the armor sets. I was trying to run this before the update, and it was still a very, very viable build. Now it's even more broken that the Borealis set is actually operational and running as intended. This is a one-shot sniper build that I do run. My primary weapon is the sniper rifle. I do run the Inferno Seed as a secondary, but I'll be brief and quick with this loadout and the build. I'll show you a quick run as well, just to show you how well it does perform. This is great for CT-15s if you're running solo. A little bit more on the squishy side. Obviously, the Technomancer has always been known to be a glass cannon, but for the most part, this build's pretty fun. I enjoy it. It's a very good support role, and overall, just an absolute blast. So I'll be quick about this and get into a run, and I'll have this posted up for the Reddit community because I've had a lot of people asking about techno builds. I've seen it through the subreddit and through YouTube comments on other creators' channels, just asking where are some good builds to run that's not a blighted round build, just because a lot of people run blighted round. They get bored of it and they want to try to mix things up. We'll go over weapons first. It's the armor mods, skills, and the class nodes. I'll show you how everything kind of plays together. This isn't scripted. I just got off work. This has been on my mind for a while now. I just figured I might as well record this, get it out of the way, get it posted. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you like this sort of content, drop a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends. If you want to see more Outriders content, obviously I don't have a whole lot of content on my channel. I am more than happy to focus and make more content in builds. Don't ask for other classes because my only other class is the Devastator, which is not fully level 50 yet. So for now, I'm just going to be a Technomancer, knowledge base for you all. Anyways, getting into things, we have the Inferno Seed, 99 4K roll. This was just a god roll. I gotta see firepower, doesn't matter. This was one I actually got legitimately, not one of the free ones they handed out. I do have another one, but don't worry about that. We're just gonna talk about the Inferno Seed right now. Critical damage, status power, and long range damage. These are absolutely huge for this build, just because you are gonna be staying back a lot more. So that long range damage is going to be super helpful. As for status power, well, this entire build revolves around freezing, so the more status power you have, the more effective this build will be. Wrath of Moloch, just causing some extra burn damage onto enemies, which obviously increases more damage with your status power. And then Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, yes, these are 2 tier 3 mods. This is a very end game. I've had lots of time to grind and obviously try to perfect this. This is not a budget build, as some people would like to call it. If you guys want me to kind of figure out a more budget build for this type of class, let me know. I'll see what I can whip up with some tier 1, tier 2 mods, and we'll go from there. Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, again, just that extra bleeding on every single critical hit. It's just absolutely fantastic to run. Second up, this is actually going to be your primary weapon for this build. You want to find yourself a one-shot variant rifle. Again, any sniper rifle other than full auto, I do believe, can be converted into a one-shot variant. And I was really, really grinding for a weapon of this type, and I was lucky enough to roll a purple rifle with Bone Shrapnel as its secondary mod. So obviously Bone Shrapnel killing shots, cause them to explode. We all know how this stuff sort of goes, and that's more bleeding. The biggest key thing is this grand opening. I can't remember which legendary it is that, I think pretty sure it's a shotgun that gives you the landing of first hit, creates a powerful explosion, dealing 258,000 damage in a 5-meter radius with a 1-second reload time. Now, if you take a look, 1-second reload time, or cooldown time, sorry, on the grand opening, and a 1.4-second reload time on the rifle. So every single shot you take will trigger the grand opening effect. And weapon leech life and status power, I couldn't get the roll with the Bone Shrapnel and status power. I've been trying. If I come across one, obviously I'll be switching to that. But status power is still there for that extra 30%, which is huge. Next up, we are running the Borealis set. You can run kind of whichever pieces you want. I'll run what I run for this. This isn't fully optimized and perfected. These are just the best balance of things that I run while playing. Again, this class is a little bit squishy, so you do have to be careful with how you do some of your engagements. But again, you get the bonus firepower, that status power, and that long range damage. This is absolutely perfect. Firepower doesn't necessarily always matter, but it does help a little bit when you're running the rifle. Twins. This one is a huge mod. It's not absolutely essential, but it definitely helps. You get the 2 cryo turrets before triggering the cooldown, helps keep everything frozen, and I slap damage absorber on there just because that extra armor and resistance is always nice. Onto the chest piece, again, bonus firepower, status power, long range damage. Icicle Storm is the tier 3 mod for this chest piece, which is, again, really helps with ad control and even killing bosses very quickly. If I can look out with a good expedition, I will definitely make sure to run that. Cold Snap, killing frozen targets by or that were frozen by Cold Snap makes them explode, doing an extra 252,000 damage in a 5-meter radius. And then Ice Component, Bladed Turret, freeze instead of toxic. The reason I'm doing this is, again, this is all ice. This is no toxic. This is purely just vulnerability, bleed, burning, ironically, of all things, and then freezing. Just a status power maxed out subclass. Onto the pants. This one I actually did swap out. I have the crowd turret, decrease the skills cooldown by 50%. I'll get into why I have that and twins. They do go side and side together, and then obviously freezing boost, extra 15% damage against frozen targets. Onto the gloves. Shatter, 25% more damage against targets that are afflicted by freeze. And then I put Long Winter on. This one you can kind of mess around and move off as you wish. I only like the Cold Snap, just it does help freeze almost the entire battlefield. That 66% increase is absolutely huge. Just good for flash freezing and, again, triggering that Icicle Storm when there are lots of mobs around larger targets and heavier targets to hit. You can take one shot and everything's gone in a second. And then as for the boots, this one, again, I have my status power. I have anomaly power just because we are running a lot of turrets as well. So that little anomaly power does help. And skills leech life is huge. Cooldown reduction, long range damage. This one I would try to actually change out if I could. I don't know if I have another pair of gloves that might actually work better for this. I'll go through that another time. Again, this isn't fully optimized. I just sat down. I just got home from work. I'm still wearing my uniform. Like, I just wanted to get this done and out of the way for everybody. And then, so yeah, Cold Snap, Cold Purification, cleanses everyone of negative effects and grabs immunity for 5 seconds. And then Frostbite, while frozen by the skill, enemies have reduced armor by 10 or by 100% for the duration of the status. This, again, you can do what you want with these types of mods, especially for the Cold Snap. If you want to run more damage, again, Captain Hunter's really good as well. I could run that instead of Frostbite. But this is just super helpful, especially against super armor and like the resistances. It does actually help with knocking those off because those do count as a side of armor. Onto the skills, pretty easy and self-explanatory from going over the mods. Bladed Turret, Cold Snap, and Cryo Turret. It's a triple turret build with Cold Snap, nothing much to it. That 8-second cooldown time on the Cryo Turret is going to be kind of a huge focus for the subclass, and the Bladed Turret obviously is just more freezing. You don't have to run the triple turret. You can run something else if you want, like Healing Wave, even the Pain Launcher with the freezing ability. I've seen some people asking me about that in the comments. You could totally run that. This is just, again, 3 turrets, keeps everything frozen all the time. And then on to the main class. Again, we're running Military Tech Shaman, which is so underrated. A lot of people like their Demolisher or the Pestilence builds, but Tech Shaman actually has so many more advantages. This one I did just completely almost max out. Obviously, we're going to go, you need to get max health, Gadgeteer, Anita Plates, Anomalous Body, so again, more health. And then this is where things start to get more focus on the freezing. 10% more damage against frozen, max health, wipeout. This is like always the most crucial mod when running any of the Technomancer builds. Just that way more damage for the lower health enemies, especially bosses. I did run the skill leech just because the turrets are always constantly doing damage. You're always gaining health, and you're pretty much unstoppable. Again, another gadget here, keep those cooldowns nice and low. Max health again. Exposing frost. Every time freeze is inflicted, you get vulnerable, and then obviously it's an extra 40% more damage on vulnerable targets. I don't know exactly what the math works out to be with everything adding up, because I know the vulnerability and the freezing damage and all that stuff all have different wonky ratios for how they stack up, but long story short, it's just more damage against everyone that's frozen. 20% extra long freezing, more skill leech life, increased armor. I did go with the medical unit. This one you don't have to, especially if you're a solo player. This one's just nice for the support build, right? Using a gadget skill increases all healing received by you and your allies by 30% for 7 seconds. That's why I run that extra mod for the cryo turrets, is because I can pop one almost every 7 seconds, keep that healing up all the time. Doctor of Medicine, increases your healing by 20% for everyone. More skill leech, 30% more damage against frozen, and then overclocked by increases your anomaly and weapon damage for 10 seconds. So that's upon the cold snap, the cryo turret, or the healing wave. I still think the bottom perk for this is still broken. I've never seen it activate, or don't know if it does activate, but we're not going for that. So every 10 seconds, 40% boost, and that's why we want to run the cryo turret with the twins at the 8-second cooldown. That'll just allow us to keep that buff up all the time. If you get pretty good at literally just throwing your turret every 5 seconds, like both of them every 5 seconds. I have messed around with some of these, and I've gone down for the adrenalizing antenna, because it gives the extra anomaly power for 30 seconds for 10 seconds, or 30% for 10 seconds. Sorry, again, this isn't scripted. Don't mind me, I'm just stupid. But you're not really focusing on anomaly damage. You're focusing purely on firepower and just the overall bonus damage from freezing, stacked with the grand opening mod. So this is everything that's being ran right now. Take a screenshot, go through. Again, if you mess with this loadout a little bit and this entire system I've got going on, let me know the changes you make. I'd love to try them out and give them a shot. But with that being said, I'm going to find a good expedition and hop into it and just show you some gameplay on how well this mod, or this combination of everything, works. So I hope you enjoy. Alrighty, here we are on the Colosseum. This is probably a pretty good expedition to show the build off, as you get to fight both the humanoid, like the Pax, and creatures as well. So we'll just do a run through. I probably won't talk a whole lot, just enjoy how the gameplay rolls out, and we'll see how things go. So I always like to do this. Come on, freeze him. Just clearing them. Probably help if I actually hit my shots. If you can even land those crits. Again, I'm playing on controller, so sometimes it's a little bit harder to land those shots. But just look at that. And one of the reasons I really do enjoy this build is for the fact that my accuracy is sometimes absolutely garbage, so having targets not moving around as much is definitely ideal. Again, you just throw down your turrets. Let everything get frozen. You don't even need to hit crits with this build. You just one shot, one shot, one shot. Like alphas, easy. Let's see what it does against the what are these? Even when I get some fun, do that, light him on fire. Again, you want to just kind of constantly, I always forget to spam them because I get too caught up trying to hit the shots with the sniper rifle. But ad clearing is easy. As you can see, the Mauler just... they focus those turrets as well, which is another beautiful part about this build, is that you never have to really worry about the targets rushing you. Especially if your turrets are all out in front of you, they'll typically aggro most of the targets. Well, let's get this open. Let's see how this does against the Brood Mother or Brood Queen.
This must be the Colosseum.
1, 2, 3. And you all just stay frozen, and just one at a time, pick them off. Again, just keep throwing these down, because why not? I'm just running around collecting this ammo here first before I kill this last one. There we go. Room cleared in 5 shots. But you can clearly tell, especially with that Mauler right there, enemies that aren't frozen, this build doesn't work all that well for. But we're not going for that anymore. So he takes 2 shots, just one if they're frozen. I'm about 8 minutes for this run. That's pretty good for Coliseum on tier 15. Who the heck are you?
Who the hell are you?
You know you've played Outriders way too much one.
Falling for this painfully obvious trap. What a bunch of clowns.
So again, kind of
them for sport.
I'll wait for the broodmother to drop down. Stay back. Stay back. Yep. All right.
I think that's the last of the monsters, but that maniac isn't too happy about it.
Grab some ammo.
Go.
Oh. Boop. 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 pretty easy, pretty straightforward. That was just under 14 minutes as well for a run on Coliseum, so I'd call that a pretty good win there. But anyways, we'll take a look here at the final damages and how everything stacked up, and we should be pretty good to go. Only took 162,000 damage. That's actually not too bad. Healing, again, mainly skill leech. Damage dealt, look at that. 125 million from the grand opening. That's where all of your damage comes from, followed by just the pure damage from the rifle, Icicle Storm, and then even 11 million from Crow. So you can actually even bump this up even more by throwing the extra damage on the cryo turrets, and you'll be absolutely laughing. 58 skill views, but that is that. So if you enjoy the build, have any questions, have any updates, let me know. I absolutely love this game and would love to make more content. If you want to see more content like this, again, drop a like and a comment, share it with your friends, and until next time,